guys, this is Ride on Academia, and today we'll be looking at the nth term of an arithmetic progression. Okay, now an arithmetic progression is simply an orderly arrangement of numbers or data, let's say, where we have our common difference. Okay, so like I said, it is an orderly arrangement of numbers, okay, so that it reflects their common difference. Now we have our first term, second term, third term, and fourth term, let's say, and so on. Okay, and then in our arithmetic progression, like I said, we must have an orderly arrangement, right? Now this is orderly arranged. You can see our comma and we can see the continuation symbol. Okay, and then the next thing that must be satisfied is that our difference must be the same. In an arithmetic progression, our difference must be the same. Okay, that is the difference between the third and the second and the first term, the difference between the third and the second term, the difference between the fourth and the third term must be the same. Are we together? Now if you look at the board very well, we have 3 and 6. The difference here is 6 minus 3. Okay, that is our second term minus our first term. For this case, our difference is equal to 3. All right, now let's go to our third term. Our third term is 9, our second term is 6. So we have that our difference between our third and second term must also be the same with our difference. Now 9 minus 6, we have what? 3. Okay, for difference. Now let's go to our fourth term. Okay, the difference between our fourth term and our third term must also be the same. So when we have 12 minus 9, we have what? 3. So in this case, we can see that our difference is the same. All right, the difference is the same, so we can call this an arithmetic progression. Are we together? Now if the numbers were not having the same, let's say it was not having the same common difference, at this case, even though it is orderly arranged, we cannot call it an arithmetic progression. Okay, it is not a progression. Since we have a progression, meaning it continues on the same level or on the same speed. Okay, and in this case our speed talks about the difference. Now if you look at this number, this is orderly arranged, yes, but the difference between the second and the first is 1. The difference between the third and the second is 4. Do we see that the difference are not they are not constant? It's not the same. The difference between the fourth and the third is also 4, but now the first is not the same as, okay, so we cannot call this an arithmetic progression. So I said an arithmetic progression must have the same difference. Are we together? Now in solving for our arithmetic progression, we are given a general formula where our Tn is equal to a plus n minus 1, and then we have our d. So this is our general formula for calculating the nth term. All right, just one term. Okay, the nth term, we talk about the number, whatever. If it's the third term, our n becomes 3, our n becomes 3. Okay, so this is just for just one particular term of our arithmetic progression. So we'll be taking an example and we'll be solving for the arithmetic progression. Now we have 2.5, we have 3.1, we have 3.7, okay, and then we have 4.3, and so on. Now this is a sequence given, all right, and then we are asked to calculate the 11th term. We are asked to calculate the 11th term. Now, like I said, the first thing we must know when calculating our arithmetic progression, or to be sure, is that we must check for our common difference and for our a. Okay, the formula here requires that we calculate for our first term and for our common difference. So from this, we know that our first term is 2.5. okay, because this is the number coming first. All right, this is our first term. Right, now our common difference is simply the second term minus our first term, right, or the third term minus the second term, or the fourth term minus our third term. Are we together? So let's just take any of the random places. I will say our third. So our common difference is simply our second term minus our first term, or our third term minus our second term, or our fourth term minus our third term. All right, so we can pick any one from here to get our common difference. Now I want to use our third term minus our second term. Okay, so I can quickly say my common difference here is 3.7 minus 3.1. okay, our third term minus our second term. Okay, that will be giving us 0.6. So this is our common difference. Okay, so we're getting our a to be equal to 2.5, which is our first term, and our difference to be equal to 0.6. Now with this we can find our 11th term. 11th term simply means we just substitute everything. Our n here, alright, this is our 11th term, our n will be 11, alright. So we just substitute into this value. Our T11, alright, will be equal to our A is 2.5, right? And our n is still 11 minus 1 multiplied by our common difference, which is 0.6. Put it together. Now when we solve this, we'll be having 2.5 plus 11 minus 1 will give us 10. Then we have multiplied, okay, bracket signifying multiplication, multiplied by 0.6, right? Okay, now we have 2.5. Now 0.6 times 10 will give us what? 6. Are we together? So 10 times 0.6 will give us 6, right? So we'll be having 2.5 plus 6, and that will be giving us 8.5. So in this case, our 11th term, alright, will be 8.5. That is, if you continue adding our common difference, we add 4.3 plus 0.6, and then continue like that, we'll get our 11th term, which will be 8.5. Now we can also use our arithmetic progression to solve in the case. Alright, so we'll be taking a second example now. Alright, so we have that the 6th term, alright, of an arithmetic progression, the 6th term of an arithmetic progression is 43, okay, and our 3rd term, okay, is 19. Alright, so our 6th term is given to be 43 and our 3rd term is given to be 19, alright, and we are asked to find the first term and the common difference, alright. So we'll be solving that very quickly. The first thing we have is that our 6th term, right, that is T6, is equal to 43, and our 3rd term, right, is equal to 19. This is what we are given. Now we are asked to find our first term and our common difference. So in having our T6, our formula still remains the same. Like I said, we'll be using this to solve for in simultaneous equation. Alright, so let's quickly represent this. We have that T6 is equal to our A, which we don't know, plus n minus 1. Okay, in this case our n has become 6, right? 6 minus 1, and our d, which we also don't know. Meanwhile, our T6 is 43. So we can say that our A plus 6 minus 1 will give us 5d is equal to 43. We can call this equation 1, right? Now let's take for the next one. We have that our T3 is equal to 19, but T3 is equal to A plus. Now our n is 3 minus 1, okay? And our d we also don't know. In this case, T3 is 19, so we are bringing that out. Our A plus 3 minus 1 will give us 2 times d, 2d is equal to 19, okay? We can call this our equation 2, okay? Now I'm going to be bringing our first equation and second equation together. Alright, so this is our equation 1. I want to bring them close to each other. Now I'm going to be using elimination method, alright? Our elimination method to solve this quickly so that it won't be taking much time. Now simply equation 1, since it is bigger, minus equation 2, right? So our A will subtract A, our 5d will subtract 2d, our 43 will subtract 19. Are we together? So when we do that, if A subtract A, nothing is left. Then we have 5d minus 2d, we are left with 3d, and our equal to, we have 24. 43 minus 19 will give us 24. So in order for us to find d, we just divide both sides by the coefficient of d, which is 3. Okay, so here we have our d to be equal to 8, 24 over 3. Now since we have gotten d, we just substitute, right, in equation 1, since that one is easier. So we have that A plus 2d, right, is equal to 19. Now our d is 8, so A plus 2 times 8, alright, 2 times 8 is equal to 19, right? So our A plus 16 will be equal to 19. Quickly just collect like terms to take that number there. When the plus crosses your equal to, it become minus. So our A is equal to 19 minus 16. Our A is equal to 3, right? We are asked to find the first term and the common difference, right? So therefore we can say that our first term is equal to 3 and our common difference, right, is equal to 8. And this is the end of our equation or our solution. So we have come to the end of finding the nth term of an AP. The next video I'll be making will be on sum of an AP. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like this video if it was helpful, and also share this video with others. See you in our next class. Thank you.